What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming, and time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's series is going to be between IdrA and MC. Starting things off here on Xel'Naga Caverns, we've got IdrA spawning the upper right-hand spawn location as our red Zerg player, and then down over here in the lower left-hand position, the blue Protoss player MC. Alright, no need for introductions for either of these players, obviously both very, very well known, so clearly looking forward to this matchup, as I am to every StarCraft 2 commentary. Oh, joyous day. Alright, let's take a look at MC. We'll be going with one base opening here as he starts off with this pylon at the front of his ramp. Not trying any fancy forge, fast expand, or anything like that. That can be quite difficult to pull off on this map in particular. You know, given the sheer amount of space between your ramp and the natural expansion, there's just a lot of area to cover, and then you have to worry about this whole area over here. So yeah, not quite as popular on this particular map, but I don't need to tell you guys that. You are fully aware. Here comes the probe scout for MC, making its way on over to IdrA's base. IdrA also working his way across the map with his first overlord. And we're going to have to keep an eye on IdrA. I'm assuming that he is actually going to open up pool first here, especially given the fact that, you know, it's clear that your opponent's going to scout you very early on, and that probe getting there so early pretty much makes it near impossible for you to safely come out with an expansion first. So many possibilities for harass that a Protoss player can throw at you in the early stage of the game here. And actually, IdrA did decide to go Extractor first, getting that metabolic boost nice and early as a result of that extra Vespene that he will be collecting early on in the game. And MC will probably just be kind of chilling out here for a while, although he knows exactly what IdrA is going to be doing. There's really not much of a reason for him to leave the base up until those Zerglings are about to pop. And then we expect him to hide that probe somewhere in a safe spot to try to move in later on for some secondary scouting, and IdrA will of course most likely be trying to find the probe once that does inevitably happen. Alright, back over here we can see that gateway coming on through. He does also have one assimilator up and running, and here comes that Cybernex core as well for MC. There it is, leaving just enough space there for one Zealot to squeeze on through on hold position to stop any Zerglings, those nasty, nasty Zerglings, from sneaking on into his base at any point, really. And here comes that second assimilator for MC, so not going just one gas in the early stage. He is getting that second gas, and again, we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens after that Cybernex core, because it really isn't until that point that we can really decipher what he intends on doing here in the early stages of the game. Alright, IdrA does now have that spawning pool up. Those first two Zerglings popped now, and got two more Zerglings coming on through. So we'll be sitting at a total of 4 Zerglings in the early stage here. MC realizing that those Zerglings are out now, we'll be sending that probe back on home. We expect IdrA to make chase at least with one Zergling, and may pull the other ones off to get some scouting, probably grabbing these Xel'Naga towers, and then sending one or two to the front of MC's base just to check out what's going on. And it does look like that first Stalker will actually be moving out for MC, allowing him to provide a little bit of early game pressure, and hopefully, ideally, actually forcing IdrA to make more Zerglings than he would like to otherwise. And you can see that is being chrono boosted out, and MC still hasn't made any tech choices after that first, after that Cybernex core finished. And again, we're just going to be waiting to see what he decides to follow up with. Alright, so here comes that Stalker. He'll be trying to chase down those Zerglings. He's got that speed advantage at the moment, and actually deciding to finally pull on back, as doesn't really want to get too far out, just in case there are more Zerglings. You can see, in fact, 6 more Zerglings coming out here. So IdrA with 8 more Zerglings coming out as he's just about to finish that metabolic boost. This is actually going to give IdrA some map control now with that metabolic boost in play, and having those speedlings and so many of them running around, he can deal with any small amount of Stalkers. And here we go, MC will be now moving into an expansion. It will actually be a 3-gate expand. As you can see, those 2 additional gateways getting plopped down here. We're going to expect Sentry Heavy from here on out, at least till he gets about 3 or 4. That's going to give him just enough to actually safely expand off of those 3 gateways and be able to defend anything that IdrA may throw at him. Alright, so here we go. Zerglings making their way across the map, and they're going to be scouting out that this expansion is actually coming out. Just checking that pylon is really enough of an indication. There we go, getting a nice around there, and actually some nice positioning there for MC. Made it so he didn't take as many losses as he could have. Ended up losing the Stalker, but that Zealot is still alive. And actually MC now dropping down a second pylon, trying to make a little bit more of a small semblance of a wall off. He just wants to have a small amount of space, as small amount of space as possible, so that he can effectively use force fields. And there we go, more and more sentries coming through. He's in fact sitting on 5 at the moment. IdrA preparing to move into a second expansion here as he breaks down these rocks. He'll be moving right down over there once that is complete, and also working on some nice droning up here. Now, keep in mind, he does have a layer coming on through, so we're going to have to figure out what he is doing with that. 3 guys saturating this one extractor. This extractor actually just now getting saturated, and I'm coming down with a few more over here as well. So he's droning up and teching up at the same time. And now that that layer is up, let's see what he decides to do with it. Going to be quick infestors here. So Speedling Infestor for the early stage, and actually coming out there with that evolution chamber as well. Gonna let him get some upgrades. Also drop those spore crawlers just in case he deals with any cloaked units and or Phoenix harass. We do have that Nexus very, very close to complete right now. Following up here with the robotics, so we'll be sitting at 3-gate robo. Let's get that forge and starting to get those level 1 upgrades. So you can see a nice little wall off here, including that zealot, making it so that Zerglings can effectively push on here, especially with the range of the sentries. And just in case any Zerglings try to hit this angle, he's sitting on so many sentries, he can effectively drop some force fields and prevent that from doing much damage. So at the moment, MC is relatively safe, and again, he's getting his upgrades here. Back over here, we're going to see some burrow research coming out here for IdrA. He did grab that infestation pit, and there it is, coming out those pathogen glands, giving that extra energy there for those infestors. Still hasn't moved into his 3rd base yet. And right now, again, he's actually just massing up. You can see a ton of speedlings coming out. The burrow research very close to finish, and we're not going to expect any infestors to be built until he actually gets close to finish those pathogen glands. We're going to see a attempted secondary scout there with that probe. That's not going to happen, though. However, he does have this robotics in place, so we're going to be seeing an observer pop out. You can see that chrono boost getting laid down on there, and once that is out, he'll actually be able to scout out IdrA. But by that point, IdrA is actually going to be pretty much in the works for coming out here with a push, most likely. Kenzie is also working out to get down these rocks, so just in case he decides he wants to take that high yield, or he may double expand at some point very, very soon. But he has got a fairly decent composition right now, going infestor heavy with these speedlings as well. That actually works very, very well, especially with some upgrades. Surprised we actually aren't seeing any upgrades yet here. I would really like to see the melee attack level 1 here from IdrA. That would help him quite a bit. Observer checking out those expansions, realizing, okay, there's no 3rd base yet. Also moving by that high yield, so he knows that there hasn't been a 3rd yet. Now this informs him that IdrA has really been massing up on these 2 bases. So IdrA is prepared to expand, but again, as of now, he's just concerned about massing up a very strong army. Again, he's got a ton of speedlings and a lot of infestors. 2 of them just about to come out. He's got 4 in play already, so he'll be sitting on 6 infestors early on, and this could be kind of a headache here for MC to deal with. And MC is going to attempt some econ harass right now as he moves out with 1 warp prism filled up with those sentries. Likely to drop behind the resource line, force field those workers in, and then warp in a few zealots to be a major, major headache. A couple speedlings scouting out the front here of MC's base, and it does look like IdrA is prepared to push at the same time, grabbing his 3rd base right over here. Here comes that warp prism drop very, very soon. 2 gateways getting warped in over here for MC as well as he prepares to continue to go gateway heavy. Now he has finished his level 1 weapons upgrade there, and that's going to help him a bit in this engagement. Very nice force field placement. Now we got a couple speedlings again testing over here. What we're going to see MC do, what we're going to see IdrA do. Oh no! Infestor is detected there by the observer, and they get destroyed before they can do much of anything. Now they dropped a lot of infested Terrans. Those are going to get mopped up here by the units of MC. MC dropping those Guardian Shield Speedlings, though, doing a lot of damage and busting their way into the main base. At the same time, we get the drop going over here for MC, force fielding that front, and then he's going to do as much harass as he possibly can. Speedlings going to town over here. The infested Terrans have been taken care of. Speedlings going to be doing so much damage in the main, taking out some of these gateways, taking down these assimilators, as well as that Nexus back over here. We're seeing those sentries do it again. A couple of zealots here in the main as well. More and more getting warped in, but that is getting surrounded, and it looks like IdrA may be able to take care of this. He does also have a couple spines dropped down, and the speedlings actually only took out those assimilators and not much else. How many workers did he kill? Not a ton. And more harass coming down over here by MC. MC in the main of IdrA, not able to warp in anymore, not able to force field anymore though, as he does not have any more sentries. So we should see IdrA be able to make his way on up. And there we go, a couple more sentries getting warped in. That infestor is actually going to get targeted down. And MC moving his warp prism right now. And there we go, now going to be hitting that expansion. More units getting warped in, and IdrA dropping a fungal growth, trying to do what he can. We're going to see the rest of the army for MC push back. An unbelievable defense there for MC. He didn't actually lose too much at all, only ended up losing 7 workers and 1 assimilator. Did not lose these gateways or that Nexus, and now he pushes out for the counterattack, and IdrA just calling the GG. We saw IdrA push out around the 11-minute mark with Speedling Infestor, and though he was able to break his way into the main, he actually didn't end up doing too much damage. MC with some beautiful force field placement and Guardian Shields to prevent those infested Terrans from doing too much damage was actually able to prevent IdrA from destroying any major buildings or tech, and then he moved out for a counterattack that resulted in the GG. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here between IdrA and MC. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.
We cannot hold